Dignity. The state or quality of being worthy of honour or respect. A sense of pride of oneself, self-respect. But what does dignity mean to women?
Dignity to me means respect and autonomy. And to be honest, there were a number of times throughout my pregnancy and labour where I felt like these things didn't happen. I didn't have respect, I didn't have autonomy, and I didn't have any dignity. And to be honest, it just left me with emotional and physical scars that I have now. I mean, everyone sort of says when you're pregnant, you leave your dignity at the door.
I'm a very private person, or at least I was before I got pregnant. You know, you have to get used to them poking and prodding you when you have a baby inside of you. Blood tests, and they touch your belly to see where the baby is, and they touch you down below to see if you're dilated. I don't really know why they did it. I suppose they never really explained it to me. Not in ways I understood, anyway. Well, you kind of just have to lie back and take it. You've got to do what's best for your baby. You're not a very good mum if you don't.
During my labour, I was more than happy for midwives to carry out examination. However, on more than one occasion, I felt a failure as a woman, that she had made me 3 centimetres dilated. It made me feel as if I hadn't actually done anything myself. I'm failing to progress. That's what you don't want to hear during labour. You're in the early stages and you need someone to support you. And yeah, when I heard those things, I felt as if my body wasn't doing what it should do as a woman.
So I gave birth at the end of last year. My original birthing plan was to have a really nice calm water bath in the hospital. I ended up actually having a cesarean section. Waiting, I just wanted to get the baby out. It was such a nightmare. She heard my midwives outside the room saying that they were really unhappy with my progress. You know, I hadn't moved as quickly as they wanted me to, and I just felt like an absolute failure straight away. It was the most awful thing in the world. So the next thing I know, I'm lying in a theatre room and there's like 20,000 people around me and I have no idea who they are. I have no idea what's going on. I'm petrified because it's my first baby and I literally don't want to go through this any longer, and I just feel so embarrassed because this is meant to be the most kind of special moment ever. I'm bringing a baby into this world and I just feel like I'm the useless one. I can't do anything and all of these other people have to do my sort of dirty work for me, and it just felt so embarrassing, and I really didn't kind of want to go through birth again after that.
When I was learning to breastfeed, I asked the midwife for some support to show me how to latch him on and things. I found that she didn't ask if she could touch my breast or come in quite close. She just did anyway. It's funny enough having a baby on your breast when you're not used to things, let alone other people poking and prodding and getting really close to you without your permission. My personal space felt very invaded. When she left the room, she left the door wide open, no curtain pulled across, so I was very exposed.
And the process wasn't this magical thing that it was supposed to be, or that anyone said it was going to be. I started having contractions during the day, and I told my husband. He came home from work and we waited until it was, you know, close enough together that you can go to the hospital. The first thing was that they didn't have a bed for me, so I was sat in the waiting room for a couple of hours, which was horrible and so embarrassing because people kept looking at me because I was sweating and crying and, you know, generally being in pain. Anyway, so I finally got a bed, and the nurse said that I wasn't dilated enough, so I needed to walk around the hospital more to keep things going. So I had to walk around in front of more people, just looking like a complete mess and feeling disgusting and feeling judged. It's humiliating to be that vulnerable and horrid looking when you're walking around in front of people that you don't know, so that wasn't nice. Birth was actually pretty smooth and I have a beautiful baby girl now, so it was all worth it. But I just think that the whole process could be so much nicer and so much better for others, especially new mothers.
The Care Quality Commission found in their 2017 maternity survey that 88% of women were always treated with dignity and respect in the maternity services. That was an increase from 85% of women in the 2013 survey and 87% of women in the 2015 survey. But what about the 12% of women who are not always being treated with dignity and respect? The women who only sometimes or never feel dignified in the maternity services. That statistic means that every 100 pregnant women who use the NHS maternity services, 12 of those will be left feeling unrespected and undignified. The Equality and Human Rights Commission states that the human rights are based upon equality, fairness, dignity, respect and independence. This means that 12% of women going through maternity services are not having their human rights met by the healthcare professionals.